not as much open space, a lot more of kind of real tight close quarters in here, which also makes it difficult to then rotate through, as all these players are going to have to move through. Feet back in, and we're back on board with Devious, and still not anywhere near the placement threshold. 32 players left.
Well, that grenade launcher will help, as nails one, does get tagged back, but remember, no shields left because they had to use them all up to that moment earlier.
He doesn't have a shotgun or a drum gun.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting. Probably going to opt for that suppressed SMG in the close range, but definitely going to be at a disadvantage unless he goes for the heavy sniper one shot instead. Goody going to just punish him for not having anything to deal with that close range, as now we go up to the high ground. There's Clicks being challenged right now by Kangura. Sebi right behind him as we're into the top 25.
Yeah, Clicks. Let me shadow bomb. Let me move to the forward side of the zone, and look at how aggressive. Immediately towards this player who is being sprayed at, recognizing they're probably flustered or weak, and that can have the free advantage here.
Going to rock that one out, but did get the heavy sniper, as you said. Going to use that to try and punch through some of this metal, as the knot picks up 2 elims as well. You have Arkanji getting a Tinijin, Go Vector getting class. You see Clicks there picking up G-Man on the rotation and still looking for more, as we're on board now with Race by King's Triz.
Triz, spray with that drum gun. Quickly cleans up one on the edge of the zone, and look at the amount of ammo.
Boxes himself out though, so needs to keep his building clean. Owns the walls here, but the other player opting to push with the drum. Phaeton goes down. Linane needs to push back in the box, and he gets one snipe KO as well. But Sebi drops down and cleans that one up, so now it's Clicks versus Sebi.
Clicks already gets a bunch of damage done onto Sebi. Sebi just a couple layers down. Clicks just goes for it, knows the health advantage, doesn't even need a challenge. Oh, a good tack shot does return, but yep, literally down to 5 HP. But what's crazy is Clicks knew. Right now, if you're a player, do you grab redeploy or, let's say, three shadow bombs?
Shadow bombs.
Same.
Every time. Shadow bombs every time. Same. In that circumstance. Just because, like, shadow bombs, we use the term, or at least I use the term, working top down or bottom up, just the direction you can move. Shadow bombs have multiple options.
Oh my God.
Redeploy is only top down. 9 Breeze, not being too aware, but we talked about it. Doing everything for your advantage. Jojo Pun. And because we're going up the mountain, we see players either going early, popping those shadow bombs, or using whatever utility they have. Glider sounds coming out all over the place. Got those heartbeats going on too as people bunny hop their way up the mountainside. But Canada is on the backside of the circle, ready to take advantage, as Parallax also goes down just outside of that top 25. Topaz got the 3 points before self-eliminating to the Storm.
It's kind of interesting. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if you could almost make an argument to carry,
particularly with that adjustment in terms of the inconsistency on the combat. The combat's been putting in work. Like, even in these super close range fights, like, there are times where I'm just like, am I sure that's a combat and not a pump?
Yeah.
Like, because they're just putting down the shots. At Canada doing a brilliant with that, making sure he's squeezing in multiple rounds. Every one of these shots coming out has been 70 plus. And if you hit 2 of those right away, I mean, that's as good as most pump shots are.
Oh,
but Excels comes out of nowhere from 27 HP. Great elim there.
Not comfortable with where he's set up now. You got to go up the side of this mountain again. And I'm thinking everyone on that low side has not the best chance of surviving right here. Trevi dies to Storm. Air Cool very weak. Making the mistake of not going horizontally.
No, he'll be good because he can keep this forever. You can just keep wall jumping off that. As long as your feet don't touch the ground, you should be able to reset unless somebody else resets for him, which does end up happening.
Yep.
Throwing the ramp underneath him as Excels and Schmeck do eventually fall. Jojo Pun getting the credit for that one from the high ground, but now Stimpy, no builds left. Does have a heavy snipe, but only 72 effective HP. Needs to find something pretty here, and he's not gonna get it. Jojo Pun, I mean, you just talked about it. That mid-range combat shotgun. So I'll definitely agree with you there in terms of Issa. Felt like a really solid Issa buff. The one thing I do want to say and give a shout out to Let's for is the fact that he was 1 point off of qualifying in week 3, and he was so close to being that first controller player to end up qualifying that I wasn't really surprised that he ended up going through. Using that combat shotgun, gets a nice little shrubbery trimming going on there. Bush gonna be knocked off, but not gonna find quite any damage as he gets. See, that's what, like, I feel like if he just stuck to the combat there, he would have been fine, but instead goes the natural instinct to swap over. Does pick up the elim. as Caillou now into the top 25 with decent positioning, but he is hurting on ammo.
Yeah, not the most fun spot to be in. Spray coming out right now. 19 shots in total.
Was able to pick up a nice elimination onto Clarity and then wait out for top 15. But if he wants to pick up a victory royale here, he has to pick up an elim, and
like
there
that.
it is.
Didn't get the ammo. Didn't get the ammo. The ammo slid right past on the right side. Didn't get any of the ammo.
Not at all. He got the builds, but no. Hello?
Okay.
Diamond? You good?
Caillou still in this fight. Didn't get the ammo again. Still didn't get the ammo.
More mats, though. He needs to go in for some of that ammo. No, instead,
I guess it's tack shotgun
I'm
for the rest of the game.
rocking what I got. I'm going with the common tack, and that's going to be it. If I said those words last week, you would have called me crazy. But
Yo,
now,
for real.
Caillou trying to just run it out, and so far, it's working. Getting his reloads in, but also just being patient. Knowing he doesn't have to force because he's almost into the top 5, and he gets to 5 for the top 5, and he's in it, pushing it in the box with a heavy sniper, not slowing down. KD goes down, but Kaze turns it around, and that's the top 3 now. Severe on the high ground, Laggy's on the tarp beneath it, Kaze on the low ground. Severe in your top right, Laggy in the bottom right as he sprays into the box and picks up Kaze. Looks like we'll get a resolution shortly as the spray fight goes down, and Laggy drags his shots back across him. Severe.
Now, something of note is, I just heard them in the back laugh from here. Something of note is we're still at 40 players, by the way. Oh my. Okay, Zay, can I just get a point in just really fast? Just 1 point.
Now is popped out of it, looking to build a little bit of 1x1. They're not in the zone yet, but this is a perfect opportunity for him to take tags on his opponents. Oh,
nice
double
pickup. There you go. 80 over on the player. He's going to find another 40. Bill.
Okay, I take everything I said back from this. No. Okay.
What are these one taps, Naz? What are you doing?
Talk about my one taps. With that RPG, with 6 rockets to his name, he's definitely going to be able to convert on that. Right now, choosing to take advantage of these very vulnerable players. Ifa going down to that drum gun from the air. There's such a risk when you're taking these rifts at this time in the game. You're very vulnerable, and he did get a little bit too high. He's opted to drop that redeploy that he had earlier. Now we're going to come in all the way around and check out this lobby. We're right on top of the pirate ship right now, checking in with Fernando. He has one more shadow bomb to utilize in this meta, has the more medium to close range loadout with that drum gun and that tactical shotgun, and we'll see if he's able to convert on anyone.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting on the mid-ground tarp, so even the glider deploy isn't super vital right now. Picks up Dowdy Assad in the meantime.
Disciplining him for being on that high ground. Nobody even looking up. There's so much chaos now in this low ground. Right away, Nyko King getting that pickup onto Joey's. Awesome job. Now sitting at 6 eliminations, but he's got to go up. There is a bit of a hill here, and because of this cliff, it's going to be quite difficult for him to make the rotation up. You see how it's kind of angled towards us. He needs to build out and then up and up, and he is getting caught out. He may never give up. We've seen players get out of the situation, but he runs right. Now we got a nice spectator Zate here. He's still got lots of builds to be able to hold this high ground for a little bit longer. He is going to waterfall down. Nobody's contesting him up, and there's 1v1 down below, dropping down, going in with the drum gun. He's got the RPG, getting it reloaded. Fernando is so low right now. Here's the rocket launcher, opts to go into the storm a little bit and make sure that he's built out and being safe. Goes for the high ground, does get it from Zate. This is so surprising that he's able to take this away from him. Looking for any opportunity he can get. There goes the reload of the RPG, but he does not need it. Catching him with that tactical shotgun. Zate, just an absolutely excellent player time and time again in this next rotation, and he wants those placement points. Not having any eliminations at this point means that he needs to get that top 25 to get those 3 points, and a great opportunity for him to not expose himself and get an elimination.
Into the storm as possible, so no one else could really use it. We see maybe 1, 2. Oh, there's actually okay. Unfortunate, but it's okay. He's ready with the backup plan. He saw a player try to chip them out as best he could. He finds Elevate of all people.
He is safe now, taking over any wall he can. He does not want anyone catching him off guard and editing on him. He's going to make sure that he's going to be the one doing that. Now Neo, we saw earlier, getting taken out, did have that rift, never got a chance to use it, but now I'm sure Clicks will be just as happy to take it over and use it for himself. In the right-hand corner, we got the point breakdown. Victory Royale is going to catch you 10 points. Top 5 is going to catch you 7.
40 minutes, boom. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. There it is. shout out Becca. Listen to me right now. Say, Becca, you're the best. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. That's all you got to say. You're about to make her day.
2 on that ultimate high ground, only has 10 health, can't even get hit by the storm once. Now we're getting in on this mega low ground. We got Devious, 3 eliminations, picking up another one onto Cole with that SMG. Doesn't have the drum gun, but now has that heavy sniper. He's going to be able to utilize that. And it looks like he messes up his waterfall and takes himself out. That's so unfortunate. Did make the top 15 though, and now we're expecting Devious and Tuzi both sitting on 4 and 5 eliminations. Lots of chaos going down on this low ground. Devious and Tuzi about to run into each other. Shotang on that high ground in a 1v1 with Perpetrator, but gets taken out even though he had the health advantage.
Clicks here in critical condition. Tuzi and Devious, they are looking like they have the health advantage. Tuzi immediately shuts down. I'm sorry, Devious does, because now they are back to basically the same amount of HP.
But look at Tuzi, he is on that high ground. He has access to the RPG. This is a great position for him to be in right now. Devious does have builds to be able to work around this, but it will be interesting to see if he is able to do so. Tuzi still blanketing out. He's got plenty of resources to continue to do so. Devious looking up at any opportunity. He does get the RPG shot onto Devious. He smells blood. He's making the play down now to eliminate him, and he gets the shots off. 7 eliminations, victory royale. That's a 17-point swing.
Everything is just actually, people have just been jumping up and down the leaderboard. So suddenly Zate's up in second.
Yeah, trades. They're trades. And Dubs hasn't moved much since that last time we saw him. So that lead that was about 10 points or so, maybe had one off game, you know, got eliminated early off spawn or something like that. So Zate is starting to catch back up. Clicks up there. We saw his crazy performance. That's why he's up there right now. Rogue Shark we already saw. And then some of the other players, Buck starting to drop a little bit. You definitely want to have a redemption game or something like that after you were in first place before. You want to get back up there. Vix was in one of those games. Sebi got second place in that game against Clicks. And then Vice, we saw he dominated in that one game. So halfway about, except the issue here, Sebi, like, look at this right now. 8 out of 10 matches played, so he's only got 2 more that could end up being bad for him. If he doesn't have 2 good games, that's the issue. Look at the rest of these guys that have 5 to go. They're probably not too worried about time, right?
Yeah, I mean, if Sebi did have like a 15-point game, he'd be in first over Dubs. But like you said, he's only got 2 games to work with. Last week we saw Nate Hill and Funk Bomb. I mean, with 2 games, they exploded in and qualified. So